Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Teaching Training Session 2020, organized by Sección de Idiomas de la Facultad de Humanidades de la Universidad de San Carlos de Guatemala, Embajada de los Estados Unidos en Guatemala, and Asociación de Jóvenes Ex Becarios del Departamento de Estado AGEDE. My name is Crescencia Sosa, and I will be hosting this conference. We are so happy to have you with us this moment. And before to start, these are some general instructions for you to follow. We will have 10 minutes at the end of the conference for questions and comments. So during the conference, you can post your question and comment there, and then I'm going to read them at the end, okay? Number 2, have you already subscribed to our channels? If not, don't forget to do that. Subscribe both channels. First is Idioma Susac and TTS conferences, so you can stay turned on all the conferences we will have during this week, and also you can find more resources on them. Number 3, we will give the instructions about the attendance at the end of the conference. So thank you so much for being with us in this conference, Creating a Language Environment, in charge of Licenciada Meryeelin Quan, whom we warmly welcome in the name of the organizing commission of TTS 2020. Licenciada Meryeelin Quan has a bachelor degree in clinical psychology, children and adolescent certified therapist, couple therapist, certified EFL teacher for secondary school, bilingual elementary school teacher, English and Spanish. Meryeelin has 13 years of experience in education, working in different environments as language academies, bilingual and American schools. She enjoys teaching and learning. She continued with her private practice in psychology and currently works as an instructional coach. How to create a rich language environment? As teachers, we understand that our ultimate goal is to create a classroom environment where students are exposed to high quality language. Sometimes it is not enough just those few periods we have of class, and we want to achieve our goals. But how can we do that? It is enough for our students to just listen and to English during school hours. Let's talk about manifold ways to create a rich language environment. Licenciada Meryeelin Quan, the time is yours.
Thank you, Grece, and good afternoon, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here with you guys. These are the great opportunities that we're getting despite the situation that we're living. I really appreciate your time on being a part of this conference, and also because we're all teachers and the teacher's time is incredibly important. So thank you guys so much. So let's get started, and welcome to Creating a Language Environment. Let me just share my screen with you guys so that we can get started. Okay, guys, so my name is Meryeelin Quan, and welcome to Creating a Language Environment. Okay, so for today's goal is to come up with different ideas and for making sure that our class is a rich language environment where ideas can be expressed and experiences can be shared. Some of the tools that we're going to be using for today, because I want you guys to be a part of it, we're going to start with Padlet and Mentimeter. We're going to use these two tools for today. Our Padlet Greta, I don't know if you can share with them in the chat if you can share with them the Padlet, you can share the link.
Yes, I'm going to share with them right now.
Okay, so in our Padlet, we are going to see the following. Okay, so this is just a quick screenshot that I took of the Padlet that I created for you guys. I want you guys to take a look at it and see some of the resources that I tried in sharing with you. I included some technology resources. I know that you guys have a ton more resources than the ones that are here, but these ones are kind of like my favorite ones. So I wanted to share that with you guys. And also there's this one column here where it says, let's introduce ourselves. And that way you can post your name, post what you're teaching and where you're teaching, or something that you want to share with us. So I'm going to give you guys just a few minutes so that you can log in and you can take a look at it. And you can start introducing yourself. So I'm going to share the Padlet so that I can see who of you guys are sharing already there and introducing yourselves, and I can send some greetings to everyone. Hello, Ale Figueroa, welcome. Okay, so I think that you guys already saw that you have some thumbs up and thumbs down below each of the resources. And in the resources, you can upvote it or down them, depending on how has your experience been with some of these. Or if you guys take a look at them later on and you want to put a thumb up, then you can go ahead and upvote them too. Welcome to Kimberly Pineda. Welcome to Karen Benavente, Lily Roa, Monica, Samuel, Kevin, Vanessa Lopez. Here's Eva too. And we also have Ana Cristina Galindo, Gaby Marroquin. We have somebody else here. Let's see. I love it. Thank you guys so much for logging in and being a part of this. It's incredible to see all of the colleagues and every of the teachers that we have here. Thank you guys so much. Luis, Sharon, we have Carla Colindres. Hello, hi everyone. How many people do we have here? We're so packed. Thank you guys so much. Let's see. We have Erika Arresis. Hi, Eric. We also have Carla Mota, Esther. Thank you guys. Hi, welcome to everyone. So I want you guys to take a look at these later on. And if you have used them, I want you guys to vote them and see. And if you want to write a comment saying, what do you guys think about the resource? If you've liked it, or if you haven't liked them, why haven't you liked them? Or if you have a better idea, if you want to share, then you can also click in the little add button at the bottom and you can add the resources there too. So let's take a look at more people. Leslie Castañeda, we have Sharon, Sandra Maldonado, Shanti. Who else do we have? We have, hi Mar. Oh, hi Meryeelin, hi. We have so many people here. Thank you guys so much for joining. This makes me feel so happy. Thank you guys. Angelica, how many people else do we have here? Oh, thank you, Ana Cristina. You already shared one resource here. Awesome. Thank you so much. English and grammar. Okay, you have Rafael. Hi, guys. Okay, so I'm going to go back in a few minutes, but we're going to get started, okay? So let's go back to this. Okay, so we're going to start. Okay, after we've seen our Padlet, we are going to go to this app. So I want you guys to scan with your phone. You can scan it with your phone. You can scan the code, the QR code, or you can log in to menti.com and you can use the code 939992. And this is going to be the presentation that we're going to be using after we start. Okay, so I want you guys to leave it open there on your phone so that we can practice and that we can use it after, because we're going to see a video. And after the video, I'm going to ask you guys to go to Mentimeter and answer a couple of questions. Okay, so please, if you're looking at me through the computer and you have your phone, scan the QR code with your phone, or you can log in through the link. Okay, so I think it's a lot easier to do it like that. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys just a few minutes, and that way we can start with our video, and that way I can make sure that all of you guys are logged in to Menti and that you have your phone ready to answer the questions after we've seen the video. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to start and we're going to watch something. I want you guys to have and to put on your teacher hats on and your teacher glasses on. If you don't wear glasses, then lucky you, but I want you guys to put them on and to be observers of this, okay? So I'm going to share this video, and I love this video, and I think that it has been one of the biggest eye-openers that I've ever seen in education. So I wanted to share this with you because it means a lot to me, okay? So I'm going to share the video.
We have testing all week this week and next week. The tests are going to be hard, but that's all right because we're going to try really hard. Isn't that right, Cameron?
Yes, Ms. Peters.
Okay, great. Everyone listen up. So we're going to want to work on we get ours from the answer and the information in the story, okay? We're going to go ahead and test, factual test, and try this actus test. Oh, test, your test, open up your, so we're going to page, you go to read. First on page 3.
¿Qué dijo? ¿A poco va a empezar el examen? No, es una práctica.
We're going to take notes from the story and we're going to turn it into a math problem and we're going to walk through it together, okay? So the boy ran 3 blocks. So everyone write 3 blocks.
I didn't even know he looked like a stranger.
How long did it take him to run 3 blocks? Michelle?
6 minutes.
Very good, 6 minutes. All right, so then we take 3 blocks and 6 minutes,
¿Por qué el niño
right?
corre con los bloques? ¿Qué? Sí, ¿por qué el niño corre con los bloques? No,
Okay, so
corre
the
3
question going to
calles.
go on to ask us, how long will it take him to run 20 blocks? What do we do? How many minutes is that per block?
8 minutes.
Try and remember to raise your hand if you want to answer, okay? No, it's not 8 minutes. Michelle?
18 minutes?
Nope, not 18 minutes. Yes, Enrique?
40?
40, yeah, very good. How'd you get 40?
I don't know.
You don't know? Well, 40 is the right answer. How did you get it?
I forgot.
You forgot. Okay. Does anyone know how we get 40? Yes, Moises. Yep, that's right. Very good. Great. Can you tell us how you got that?
40?
Yep, very good. But can you explain to the class what you did here, how you got that?
40?
Okay, all right, you guys, settle down.
That is so dumb.
Joe, do you want to lose your recess?
No.
Okay, then. Thank you, Moises.
Can you help me, please?
Can you take a walk with me? I don't want you to worry about the test, okay, Moisés?
Sí, estoy preocupada sobre el examen. La directora Rosa dijo que todavía tenemos que hacer.
Just try your best, okay? Do you understand? Not importante.
Sí, sí es importante.
You're right, Moisés, it is important.
Okay, so I want you guys to go ahead and take a look at the questions that you have. What do you think about Moisés? What do you think about him? Okay, so here we have some answers, and here it says maybe he was a very brave man. He's a good man. He was an amazing man. But we're not talking about the Bible here. We're talking about the boy in the video. He doesn't understand. He has dyslexia. Okay, let's enter for some other. He needs help. He wants to learn. He's having issues with the language. He wants to win, I get. He's trying. He was trying to do his best. He's very smart, but he needs help. Let's see another. He was trying to do his best. He wants to understand. He asks himself why. He's a shy boy because he can't speak. He wants to learn, but he learns in a different way. Moisés needs help to learn. He needs help to learn in his language and then introduce him into a foreign language. Okay, he doesn't understand English, right? He's very smart. He wants to learn, right? Okay, so let's go to question number 2. And this is one of the biggest questions that I want you guys to take for today. Let's go on to question number 2. Let's see. Okay, did you guys get question number 2? If you already got question number 2 in your cell phone, then tell me. Did you make any connection to the real life? Do you have a Moisés in class? We already have a yes here. Okay, sure, more than one, right? Yes, I do. Awesome, yeah. Let's see if someone else is there. Yes, I have, yeah. Yes, it is a sad true, yes. Okay, so I see a lot of yeses here. There are always students that have difficulties. Yes, yes, did. Yes, absolutely. Yes, many. Yes, it happens. Yes. It sounds weird for me to say yes, yes, yes with so many times, but it's true. I have one case, so I have to adapt. Let's see. I have one case, so I have to adapt to different activities for him, right? Students who don't understand what we are asking for. I have students like him. Yes, I usually have 1 or 2, and I like to help them a lot. Yes, kids have different needs. We try to convey them all. Yes, I usually have 1 and 2, and I help them a lot. Yes, as a teacher, I have worked with every kind of student. Sure, more than one boy in class. Right? Awesome. Yes. Yes, I have a Moisés in my class. Yes, I did. I wanted to help him, but we had a problem. He did not understand, but he did not pay enough attention, right? Okay, it's important to pay attention to all students in the class in order to know his or her necessities. Awesome, I love this one. Of course, since our students learn in different ways and have different intelligences, of course, Howard Gardner with the multiple intelligences. I think we all have, but we as teachers have to understand methods, strategies, and techniques for our students. I didn't get to read that much. My 10-year-old students have never learned English. Yes. Okay, so we're gonna stop with the comments here and we're going to move on, but we are going to go back to this at some point, I promise. Okay. So after we watch this, let's try to do a reflection about the video. And if you guys want to continue adding to the Mentimeter, or if you want to continue adding to the Padlet, then it's okay. Okay. So let's talk about these 3 statements that I have today here. First, he gives his teacher a drawing, right? Do you think this boy has been paying attention in class? I don't think so, because he cares about his teacher and he gives her a picture and like a portrait of her, and it says like, oh, Miss Peterson or something like that. But don't you think that he's had so much free time in class that this is what he's been doing? So yeah, so maybe he's really not understanding, like all of you guys shared there, he's not understanding all the things that he's supposed to be understanding in class. So his free time he's spending in something easier for him, which is drawing a portrait of his teacher, right? Has it ever occurred to us that sometimes our kids are using their time for that and probably they didn't understand something? So maybe we should take a look at that too. Okay, he says, sí, es importante. Do you think that he knows how important this is? Of course, he's stating his mind, and I wish that we all had Moises in our class saying, look, Miss Meryeelin, this exam is important. I need you to pause and I need you to tell me what is going on. And I need you to help me. But some of our kids are too shy to tell us those things. So they never come looking out for us. And we're like at the end of the marking period, like, oh, maybe this kid, he just doesn't want to study. He doesn't pay attention. He's very lazy, you know? I mean, I think we've all had those experiences. But he's expressing his concern about this exam. And the last question that I had, was he going to be tested in language or in math? So he was going to be tested in math. So why was he so concerned? He was so concerned. It's like, haven't we had that student who probably excels in another area and we're focusing on something else? This, in assessment, is called a confounding variable. When we're assessing, when we're evaluating something, but we confuse what is really going to be measured in the end, what we want to measure. So for example, I want to check how my students are doing in a reading comprehension. So I ask them some questions for them to answer in their own words. So instead of me reading and checking for the actual response, I spend my entire day marking every single grammar and spelling mistake, you know, with the red pen and everything. Some schools use green, but I spend so much time doing that, correcting these mistakes, that I totally lose the sense of what I want to measure. Am I really measuring what I wanted, what I intended at the beginning of my task with the reading comprehension? So is my student complying with the assignment? Probably he is, but he has to improve in some other way or some other aspect where I can give feedback later on. So this is something that we're calling confounding variable. When we're making what we measure something so confusing that we don't really tell what we want, and we're evaluating something that is not what we intended from the beginning. So this is something that we have to make sure that we know, that we have clear at the beginning of our tasks. And even more with learning another language, with a language acquisition process, okay? So we're going to make a little pause here, and I want to go back to our Mentimeter and to our Padlet to say hello to some other people who are here with us. Grace, I don't know if you want to share again the link for our Padlet today, so maybe we can take a look at other people who are coming in and to see if we have shared some other resources.
Of course, I'm going to share with them again, okay?
Okay, thank you, Grace. Okay, so I see Saida. Welcome, Saida, that you're here. I see more people adding flashcards, right? Some people have been voting for side words, and some people have been voting here for these platforms too. So it's really nice for you guys to use. Oh, Flipgrid is an incredible tool. I haven't really used it myself, but I tried to do a lot of research. So I've read so many reviews, but I really like it. And I have so many teachers that I know that have used it a lot. So it's incredible. And I've seen a lot of examples too. So I hope you guys get to see them later on. Okay, so Crece has already shared the Padlet again. So if you guys want to introduce yourselves, then you can go ahead and do it here again. And let's see here in the comments at the beginning, because I saw that some people were posting at the beginning. Okay, so Lendy Montenegro, hi Lendy. Cesar Estrada, nice. Good to see you guys. Okay, let's see. I don't think we have that many people. Lucy Avalos, hi Lucy. Let's see who else is here. Okay, I think that we have to wait a little bit and then we can refresh it too. Okay, so we're going to go back again to our Mentimeter because I see a lot of people posting. I see a lot of people super identified. Yes, kids have different needs. We have to try to convey them all. Okay, let's see which ones do we have here. We're going to enter. Let's continue with the scrolling. Okay. I see a lot of people. Okay. Nice. I hear a lot of people were very felt really identified with Moises and his case. Okay, so let's try to move on a little bit more. And let's go back again to here. Okay, so we already did our reflection about the video, and I hope that it made you think of all of those Moiseses that we have in class. So first and foremost, we need to understand what is language acquisition. Okay, so language acquisition is a process. It's a cognitive process that goes on in our mind, in our brain, and it comes out naturally sometimes, and sometimes it's something that we can practice and train for. Okay, so there is a quote from Hannah Lemantinen, and it says, "Language is a cognition that truly makes us human." I wanted to share this with you because once I read it, I was like, it's true, you know? It's something that is very relatable, that we never think that this is part of what makes us human, right? Okay, so children learn speech and language by listening, watching, babbling, exploring, copying, responding, interacting, and playing with others. They learn language at a phenomenal rate in their early years. We've all used that expression of kids are sponges, right? So they will learn everything that you throw their way. So it is true. Children learn to speak tremendously well from the beginning if you are using this as a stimuli. Okay, so why is so important to understand why language acquisition is a huge base of a rich language environment? I think that we're all here to understand what really is a rich language environment. So a rich language environment, of course, it is an environment, no matter digital or physical. I think that right now we have to understand that classes can move anywhere. It can be in our living room, it can be in our bedroom, it can be in our dining room, it can be anywhere. And we have to understand that it has to provide a balanced, explicit language instruction with independent learning and language exploration. So we have to be able to give our students that environment, creating specifically for them that environment that is going to be welcoming for them and welcoming for us teachers, for this to happen naturally. You go to school, you enter your classroom, and automatically you put on your student hat or your teacher hat, and you understand what you have to do. Sometimes it's hard, like right now with the crisis, we all had to learn on different ways, different methodologies, different techniques, different tools. Then talking through a screen, it's super different than having my kids in the classroom. But even so, we did it and we're here. And this is an environment created for learning. So how can we provide this environment for our students, especially for our language acquisition. Okay, so I wanted to share with you guys these charts. I love this looks like, sounds like, and feels like charts, and I think that this is the best way for us to describe an environment. Okay, so a rich language environment should look like this. It should always have labels, no clutter. Remember, labels. What can we do? We can label things around the house, we can label things around the school, and always giving things a proper name and its proper name. Something else that we're going to look at in a rich language environment are going to be students and teachers interacting. If the students and the teacher are not interacting with each other, even students to students or students to teacher or teacher to student, then this is not a language environment. It should always have interaction from all of the parties. There should be playing, okay? Who said that playing was not fundamental for learning? Because if they did, then it's a lie. So I'm a total fan of playing in the classroom. So you should be able to look this games happening, this playfulness happening in the environment. And also, it should look like a space made for learning, like I said. If I have to clean up one little corner of my house or one little corner of my room for me to have this place for learning, then I'm going to do so. Involving parents. This is something very important, involving parents into creating this environment for our students. So there should be one specific spot that your kids or that your students, or no matter if they're adolescents or if we are adults and we are learning, we should always have that space devoted specifically for learning. Okay, so we should also have everyone reading and writing. I'm a literacy fan, and I believe that reading and writing are fundamental for the language acquisition. And it should be something that we have to continue reviewing, and we have to push, and we have to encourage. So the more resources we have, the better. Something else that we have to be able to look at in a language environment are active listeners and active participants. I think that these ones are one of the most important, because if we don't have listeners and we don't have participants, then we cannot have our environment at all. So I think that this is something very important. Okay, what should it look like? No, that's what should it look like? Sorry. What should it sound like? It should sound like students are speaking. We should have learning noise. This learning noise, remember, sometimes we have this huge mess in the classroom, but they're not really doing much. That's not learning noise, okay? We have to have a learning noise. That I want to do, I don't know, scavenger hunt with my students. I want to do a scoot around the class. I want to play stop with my class. I want to play taboo. I want to play Pictionary. I want to play so many things. And that is going to promote noise, but it's going to be learning noise, okay? We have to hear ongoing conversations. Even if it's between the student or one student with the teacher, but ongoing conversations, making this environment rich of language is what is going to give them that context. If my teacher is saying it, then next time when I have to use that word, I'm going to use it well because I heard my teacher modeling it in a conversation that she had with my classmate, giving those opportunities for language to be natural and for it to be something that goes on always. Taking back singing in our classes. Who says that high school students don't like to sing? That's a total it's a huge misconception. They love singing. Of course, you have to pick out what are the things that you are asking them to sing. They're not going to sing Baby Shark, or probably they will, but you can also add that singing process too in your class. Like I said, and I think I put it twice because I love it so much, playing in your classroom. It should sound that fun going on. And wrapped onto all of these, there should always be clearness in your classroom, in your environment. There should always be a motive, a clear motive for everything that you say, for everything that you model, for everything that your students are doing. Like I said, with this learning noise, there should always be a motive, okay? Then how should a rich language environment feel like? A rich language environment should feel positive and inclusive. It should feel confident. It should feel respected. It should be feeling supported and encouraging. If I don't feel confident enough to speak, then I'm not going to speak. So then it stops being safe, a safe place for me. If my teacher laughs at me when I talk because I have a certain type of accent or a weird pronunciation for this word, and everybody starts laughing, and then I see that my teacher starts laughing too, then it's not going to feel confident for me to speak anymore. And I'm going to stand back and I'm going to be like, oh no, let the experts talk, let them talk, and I'm just going to pull back. So we have to understand that we are the ones responsible for creating this rich language environment. Okay, so today I want to share with you guys 10 ways to make your classroom an interactive language rich environment each and every day. Okay, so the first tip that I have for you, and this is something that I hope that a lot of people can relate to this, because I can. And personally, as a student, I relate to this a lot. So reading aloud every day. Reading aloud doesn't mean we're all going to be reading the same thing, and then I'm going to play popcorn and I'm going to say, Juanito, you get to read from the capital letter to the period. That's not reading aloud, okay? Read aloud, and its follow-up conversation allows teachers the opportunity to help students increase vocabulary. It creates a shared literary experience, and it evokes discussion, and it's a model for fluency. What happens in a read aloud? In a read aloud, teachers should grab a book and read it to their students. If you want to share that piece of text that you're reading with them, you can, so that they can follow along with you. But if you're reading a fiction story, or if you're reading a mystery novel or something, it should be fun for them to see your reactions and to see your expressions and to be able to be a part of it, and like doing those faces like, oh my God, what's going to happen next? You know, giving that curiosity for the read aloud, creating those comments, those discussions of what's going to happen next to this character. That's what read aloud builds. I remember, and a lot of the people who know me know that my mom was my teacher, and she was my idioma español teacher. And I cannot forget the fact that she would always, every day, would pop into our classroom reading either a poem or reciting a poem from someone else. And that was part of the read aloud every day. So let's try to make this something that it's every day for our kids, for our young students. Remember to do this literary experience for them. And there are some researches that say that if we choose read aloud books, we have to choose them at a higher level than most of our readers, than most of our students, in order to give them access to language that they still don't know. And they wouldn't be able to read about it and understand it, but while we are modeling it, then they will understand it by the context. And there is going to be created that discussion of the read aloud. Okay, let's move on to number 2. So number 2 it's using word walls. Okay, somebody told me that word walls were only for young students and like for kindergarten students, but let me tell you, this is wrong. We can use word walls for all ages. We can use word walls for teenage students, and we just have to tweak it up a little bit and we can change it. Okay, so there is some research by Robert Marzano that indicates that students' comprehension will increase by 33% when vocabulary instruction focuses on specific words important to the content that they are reading, as opposed to words in a list. So yes, we can give them a high frequency words list. We can give them these side words list and everything. But wouldn't it be nice if we introduced to words that we're going to be using in our class? If we're going to be talking about science, then let's talk about scientific vocabulary and let's practice using this. Okay, this is something that we have to make sure that is visual for our students, and we have to watch out for clutter in our classrooms and in our walls. We don't have to have like 1,000 posters there, because sometimes it's too much, and we have a lot of students who don't need to have that many like visually stimulation, and it's sometimes less is more. So we have to stop and we have to watch out for clutter. Thing number 3, these ones are one of my favorites, and I think that I've used them a lot in the last few years, and these ones are called anchor charts. Okay, so anchor charts serve as visual reference of concepts that have been taught, acting as a visible reminder of concepts, cues, or guidelines for learning. Posting these charts helps students make connections to prior knowledge and prior learning, and they can also serve as a scaffold as new learning takes place. So most of the anchor charts are not meant to be pretty. Okay, they're not meant to be beautiful, and they are messy works, but they're works in progress that the result is going to be, basically the result is the combined force and the combined efforts of the students and the teacher. So I'm going to go and I'm going to try with my poster here, and with my students, I'm going to start writing it there. All of these concepts, all of these things that we're talking about in the moment, if you're using the inquiry approach, then it's something that comes up in the class, and you do it naturally there with your students, with your class. What can we do for online teaching? So creating those materials during our asynchronous sessions, those live sessions where you explain a structure or a strategy and so on. I mean, you can ask your students to share with you their anchor charts, like a picture of their anchor charts, and that could be also a way for assessing understanding. You can also see if they can explain it to you, and they can have it there as a resource, and they can have it posted in their learning space. So that is also a proof that we can use for anchor charts. The next one that we have is creating a classroom library. I think all of these are kind of like my favorite parts, but it's true, okay? These are like basic things that we have to understand and we have to use in our classes. How can we create a classroom library? Okay, so the more materials students have available, the more likely they're going to read, thereby increasing the amount of language they're going to be exposed to. So small books, picture books, short stories, articles, biographies. And I think that we have a variety of resources. Sometimes we don't. It depends on where we work. So for us teachers, it's so normal that we want to go above and beyond looking for resources from anywhere. And we want to get people to give us their books. Like we take hand-me-down books and we take them. We have so many things that we want to take to our classes, and we do. But what can we do now? For example, right now that we're doing online learning, what can we use for creating this classroom libraries? So I wanted to share with you guys some resources online that I personally love and that are free for teachers. So one of them is Epic. The site is called getepic.com. And here you can find collections for your students. They are divided into Lexile levels, and it's basically free for students and teachers, but only in a school schedule. So it's available from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. from Monday through Friday. So if your students want to use it at home, then the parents would have to pay for that. But if you want to use it in school hours, then it's totally free and it's guided by the teacher, so you can create your account and everything. We also have books with the V. I really like this one because it has an app. So is Epic. Epic and Books, they have both apps for devices, and they're very student friendly. They are a lot better for younger students, and they are free for teachers. Then we have, for a little bit older students, for probably middle school and high school, we have readworks.org and Meryeelin. So readworks.org has a bunch of reading comprehensions, and it's also according to levels. So I think it's super interesting because it has a lot of historical papers, a lot of historical articles that you can use, and it's really nice for, like I said, probably from 6th grade until high school. And then Meryeelin, it's something that is super current. You can also assign reading comprehensions for your students, and it has a lot of videos and articles related to current events. So it's something very up to date, and I really like it. And I think I can post those in the Padlet so that you guys can log into these ones. I think I already added Epic and Books, but I'm going to check and I can add the other two so that you guys can see them as well. Okay, so tip number 5 on how to build a rich language environment. We have to think about putting language in unexpected places. Exposing our students to language frequently and systematically is important in a language-rich environment. We have to embrace the importance of repetitive exposing and repetitively exposing our students to language, not only in the classroom, but everywhere. And thinking about our entire school and our homes serve as great examples of students finding language in unexpected places. Like, for example, we can put labels in the chairs. We can put labels on the TV, on the fridge, on the radio, on the wall. And even putting labels in the cabinet doors. Like, okay, we're going to go to the bathroom. What are the items in the bathroom called? And we can do those labels together. And as a teacher, you can create those labels like in a Word document and just send it to your students, and they can create their own labels, or they can just print them out and then just cut them, and they are going to go doing this hunting at home and pasting them anywhere. And that could also be something that we can do in the classroom. We set up all of these labels and we can go put them around the school, and every time they're going to find a label that they did, they're going to remember and they're going to read it. Then another one, it's number 6. We have to encourage awesome language in writing. We have to encourage our students to use powerful words, not just pollito chicken like here in the slide, but giving them a chance to have more words, using synonyms, and asking them to write using these words. We have to empower our students to use sophisticated language. If we're teaching high school, we're not going to expect for them to write their opinion in just one sentence. If we want to build a language environment, we have to try to push them that, okay, so at the beginning of the year, you wrote one sentence. In the middle of the year, I'm going to expect for you to write a paragraph being 5 to 6 sentences. And all of them have to have correlation with each other, And at the end of the year, what am I going to expect? Giving them those really important milestones for them to get to. That's very important. Like, okay, so today you use the word run. Okay, how can I use the word run that sounds more interesting? Oh, he bolted out of the class. Okay, so ditching all of these boring verbs and using vivid verbs and using more joyful words, more powerful words in general. The next one, playing with words. I think it's very important to provide different forms for them to use the new language. Ask them to sort words by sounds. Let's move away from that classic, let's write the meaning of these words in Spanish, or let's write the definition from the dictionary that I think we all used. Or let's draw a picture of the word, because probably they've done it so many times that they're just tired of doing that same thing. But we can challenge our students to play with the words. We can ask them to create a song. We can ask them to look for them in a short text. We can ask them to voice out each phoneme of the word. We can divide them into syllables. We can also create interactive notebooks, or even writing short stories with all of the vocabulary words that we've learned, giving them that choice. And trust me, you're going to be surprised with all of the things that they're going to show you in the end. And what things can we do? I put here in the presentation: word sorts, foldables, interactive notebooks, partner checks, and writing choices. Writing choices, that's so important. Giving our students choices. Now that it's super trending, this word of alternative assessment, we have to understand that we have to give our students choice. We have to give them the chance to choose how they want to excel in an area. Sometimes it is necessary and we have to demand on doing something specific, but this is because of them learning the language. They don't have the same way of learning the language. So we have to give them that choice. Then number 8, engage your students in daily conversations. Conversation is also a skill that is kind of like slipping away as technology takes over our lives. And that is so true. Our students are social networkers. So some of them are not techie. That's the difference. They are social networkers. They know how to use Facebook. They know how to use Instagram and everything, but they are not techie. So what can we do to improve ourselves too as teachers and ask them to become more technological instead of having technology as our biggest enemy? Now that it has to be our biggest ally. And it's okay for students not to be completely technological, and for us too, but we have to open up those spaces where our students feel like they can communicate. So conversation has to be happening every single day. And to put it simply, talk to your students. Interpersonal communication requires students to use all the language you have been working to help them acquire it in a natural, unstructured manner. Yes, in learning English methodology, we have so many approaches, we have so many methods, but I'm kind of like a big fan of the natural method. So I think that language has to come out naturally. Yes, we do need some structures depending on the age that we are teaching. Because some, like for example, older students, they probably need a little bit more structure because they're going to be asking why. Why do I put this here? Why do I use this there? But as time goes on, as you go talking to them, the more and the more they listen to you, the language is going to come out naturally. And by this imitating sounds of the conversation happening on and on and on, then at some point they're going to feel more confident talking to you. And also this goes to this counselor part of all of us teachers. We have to be interested in our students. I know that it takes time, and I know that a lot of us have 40, 50, 150 students, and sometimes it's impossible for that one person to be acquainted to everyone and to know everyone there, and to be that like aware if his parents are fighting, or if they're getting a divorce, or if not, or if he's fighting his best friend. That's also something that we have to sacrifice our time. And that's why, like I said at the beginning, the teacher's time is so important, and dosifying that interest that we have for our students, knowing who's the quiet student and making sure that we reach out at least once a week, that they get to have these conversations with the teacher, that they don't see you as somebody who's threatening them in any way, that they don't see you as that scary figure of authority that the teacher is, but that they can see you and they can talk to you. And even more if they do it in the language that you're teaching. If you're teaching Chinese, then go ahead and try to do it in Chinese. If they come up with you and they talk to you a little bit in Spanish, it's okay. But later on, as they feel more comfortable to you, coming to you and talking to you, then It's going to happen. Okay, eventually, naturally, it's going to occur. And number 9, speaking to my students in the classroom, I should use proper words and terms, even if they might seem over the head of my students, but I need to speak like adult. I need to speak like an adult. I need to use appropriate intonation and expression. I need to challenge them become better. I need to motivate them, that language curiosity, it comes out in them, and for them to look for ways to communicate. You know, I need to provide those unplanned games for them to figure out how to say the words and how to explain them. You know, I was asking one of my classes, like, guys, how would you explain the word empalagar to a person who speaks English? And they would be like, well, I don't know. Okay, think about a way of how do you say empalagar? It's like, is it too sweet, or sorry, I've eaten too many candy, or I've eaten too much sweet stuff, you know, something like that. But you have to create that, you know, that impromptu conversation, and modeling proper language. You cannot talk to them with a lot of slang. It's not okay. Okay, this modeling is going to help our students become more fluent, expressive, and they're going to become better readers too. So simply stated, as this quote says, if I want their vocabulary to rise up to my level, I don't go down to theirs. I need to show them what an appropriate language sounds like. And that's what I need to do, because I'm going to be modeling that for them. And last but not least, and I think this is one of the most important points that I can give you today, involve the parents. Language acquisition starts at home, and most parents, listen, because I said most parents would love to learn how they can create a language-rich environment for their children. You can create those parent-teacher conferences and creating those newsletters that you can send home, probably once a month or once a week if you have very small classes, or depending on your school regulations, if you can accept phone calls, or you can do Zoom meetings with the parents. But the point is for you to share with parents that what they can do at home, and what they can help, how they can help their kids, our students, to create a language-rich environment for our kids, because they're our kids, and even now more than ever. So I think it's super important to create those open spaces of communication with the parents. Like I said at the beginning, most parents are going to be thrilled that you are involving them in this process. And it's okay, because a lot of our parents don't speak English, but it's fine. But this could also be a motivation, okay, that they can be looking at the labels around the house, or something that could be a family activity as well, and they can help building this rich language environment. And to finish up, I wanted to share with you guys this picture that I found on Instagram a few weeks ago, and it says, the best teachers teach from the heart, not from the book. So I wanted to share this quote with you, because I think it's something that we have to remember. Now more than ever, they say that computers are going to replace teachers, but during these hard times, I think we've noticed that teachers are and have been those irreplaceable resources. So books get outdated, and teachers will always give their hearts for their students every day, with or without books. So thank you guys so much for your attendance and your attention today. Here is my email, and if you want to contact me, this is my email, and here's the link to the presentation. So Grace, I don't know if we're going to do some questions right now.
Oh, yes, I have some questions here. So first, it was about the presentation. Silvia Santizo asked if you can tell her where she can find it. And Luis Alberto asked if you can send him by email.
The
But
presentation.
if, yes, the presentation, but if I can share with them, I have the link here.
Yes, you can share the link that I gave you before, and you can share it there in the chat. And
Okay.
I think that you can share it like live there with them. It's okay. I don't know if we have any other.
Yes, I already shared it with them.
Oh, I wanted to say hello to Linda.
Another question, we don't. Okay. Just some comments. We have one from Karen Lorenzana. She said that's happened in USA. A lot of kids. I think she was talking about the video. And Claudia Juarez says isn't interesting but needs time. Wendy Salazar, she said reading is a way to acquire new vocabulary and practice intonation. Carla Morales, my literature teacher, was an inspiration to become an English teacher. She was an amazing storyteller. And Linda Chinchilla said they need to believe in themselves and we can help them with practice and love. That are some of the comments that we have. I don't know if you need to tell something else before to end.
No, thank you so much. Thank you to
Can you hear me?
La Sección de Idiomas from USAC.
Okay.
I really appreciate for you guys having me here. It has been an amazing experience. And I want to encourage all of our teachers out there that I know that this is a crazy, crazy time, but we're going to pull through. And I'm really motivated that we are amazing. And I think that we can do several things. And I think that education in Guatemala has gone far, far now, and it has been evolving so much that we have nothing to envy other countries and that we're doing the best that we can. And thank you guys so much. Thank you so much, Crece, for your help. I'm super excited. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you for your time to sharing with us all this information. Okay, attendance time. I told you that I'm going to share with you the information. So right now I'm going to post the link. That way you can fill it in. And because we need to sum up the hours of your participation for your diplomas, okay? The form will be available just for 10 minutes. So I just suggest you to fill it in right away, okay? This has been all for this conference. So we invite you to join us for our tomorrow conferences. We are missing the last 4 conferences. We have 2 at 3 p.m. We'll have interactive online learning with Aristides Sipag in this channel, and teaching English pronunciation with Savannah Dixon on our second channel is TTS Conferences. And of course, you can follow us on Facebook as Sección de Idiomas USAC. Have a wonderful afternoon, and Licenciada Meryeelin Quan, thank you so much for your time and for all the ideas that you shared with us today. Bye-bye.
Thank you guys so much. Bye.
Bye.